Hi, Shiva.
Hi, sir.
So we're working on the ML model design using some algorithms, right? So during that time, we found some activities, and in each activity, what are the different roles involved for ML model design? Let us see. So so while designing a machine learning model involves multiple stages, each requiring the collaboration of various roles. Here are the key roles and their activities at different stages of ML model design. So, what are the activities here? First activity is problem definition and requirements gathering. So, basically, the requirement need to come from users. So, who is the uh, contact for users? Business analyst. So, business analyst will identify business needs and objectives. Let us say if you are taking a car company, you are taking linear regression and designing the car's price forecasting. Okay, as per the past
Mhm.
data, you are forecasting it. Now, if business analyst is there, you might get some kind of idea from stakeholders. Let us say we are doing cars business for old cars and new cars. Then we need to predict the prices forecasting. Accordingly, we need to buy the cars and also make the profit like that. Okay. So for that, we need to do some kind of model analysis by taking the past data or something. So in such case, what business analyst will do, he will identify business needs and objectives. He will give as a requirement to design the model for ML professionals. Then he translates business requirements into technical specifications for ML model. So what kind of model need to be designed and what kind of algorithms can be used it. Also he can give. So predicting the car price models, I need it. You design the model and show it. You will say to the ML developer or ML designer, whoever role is there. Then what are the roles of these stakeholders in this activity? Stakeholders and executives provide strategic direction and approval for the project. Whatever business analyst proposed it with budget, everything, he will give approval. Then he define stakeholders also define success criteria and key performance indicators. Let us say if you are designing a model for car price models, ML model, car price forecasting model,
Mm.
then they are defining the success criteria. The model should give this kind of forecasting. It should work like this for this kind of data. Like that, they are going to set the key performance indicators also, like user expectation. You know that you
Okay.
have given in many demos, you have created the user story. In the user story, some expectations also will be there. The
Yes, sir.
same way,
Yes.
stakeholders will have that defined it. So all these people, they are defining the problem definition and requirements gathering for ML model design. Then second activity is data collection and preparation. Here we found minimum roles, data engineers and data scientists. What are the roles of data engineers activities? Data engineers design, build data pipelines to collect, store, process data from various sources. Let us say there is a data coming from downstream systems. You need to apply ELT or ETL process and bring them into ADF. From ADF, you are going to transform the data and bringing them into dashboards. That is the data engineer role. So data engineer will bring the right data to you. Then he ensures the data quality, integrity, and availability for model training. It means wherever the data quality, integrity, data availability making activity is there, it is the responsibility of the data engineers. So in your POC, you have worked for those tasks. That time you played the data engineer role also. Okay. But when you design the requirement, problem definition and requirements, you work like a BA role also. That is the difference. Then next, what is the role of data scientist? He performs data cleaning, pre-processing, and feature engineering. You have done the tasks with Python scripts in non-cloud environment. It means you performed the data scientist role also, that activity also. So you need to mention in your tasks, whatever is there related to these tasks, the role is data scientist. If it is data quality and data pipelines and process of data from collection of data, so from different sources, if it is there, then the role need to come as data engineer. So data scientist perform data cleaning, pre-processing, and feature engineering. After that, he explores and analyzes data to identify patterns and insights relevant to the problem. So all those will be there in the data scientist activity. So once he performed it, next one is model selection and development will be done. Who are the guys responsible to do it? Machine learning engineers, ML engineers, and data scientists. What is the role of ML engineer? He selects appropriate algorithms and frameworks based on problem and data characteristics. In your case, you have selected ML algorithm like linear regression for car um, prices
Yes, sir. Yeah.
forecasting. Then you developed them and implemented ML models, ensuring they are scalable and efficient. It means you went through up to step 8 or step 9, different steps are there. You have performed those all activities with different subtasks and with Python scripts. Now, what is the role of data scientist? He need to experiment with different model architectures and hyperparameters. Data parameters are there. He will check it with different data parameters. So he will train and validate models using historical data. It means wherever training tasks are there, training activities are there, testing activities are there, he is going to attend training activities and validation of the models. Validation is nothing but testing the models with historical data. He will take the real data and perform that and test it for that historical data. So it means model selection and development is done by ML engineers and data scientists. Then model evaluation validation is done by data scientist. He will evaluate model performance using various metrics: accuracy, precision, recall, F1 score. All those he will apply and he will evaluate the model. He performs cross validation and conduct A/B testing to compare model performance. A/B testing is like beta testing, alpha beta testing kind of things also can be conducted with live samples. So in your
Okay.
case, you have not taken live samples. You designed the model. Once you felt it is perfect, you are releasing to data scientist. Data scientist is going to use the live data with Privacy Act and is going to test the models and confirm to you. Then what is the role of quality assurance engineers in this model evaluation and validation? Test the ML models for robustness and reliability. Robustness means handling more data performance wise,
Mm-hmm.
and reliability is it does validations correctly. They need to check the formulas. I asked you to check the formulas 3 days back to confirm it in the Python script. You verified it. That's where the QA people will do it. Then he identifies and reports any issues or bugs in the models. Yes, the QA engineer will do all these verifications, and if there are defects, he will intimate to the ML engineer. Then what is the role of what is the next activity? Model deployment and integration. So ML
Mm-hmm.
engineers are going to attend for these deployment activities. Deploy ML model into production environments, ensuring seamless integration with existing systems. It means if you are connecting to some other systems, this model Python scripts, so you need to make sure you have the access of that data. That is the thing. Then implement monitoring and logging to track model performance in real time. Like whatever it is performing, you are going to do a monitoring through some tool or some services of cloud if it is in cloud. Then you are logging the performance of that activities also, tasks also. So if you take a cloud service, there will be monitoring and logging activity will be there in
Mm, yes.
ML, Azure ML. Okay, even if you take ADF, it will have the monitoring and logging activity as a standard process. Next, what is the role of DevOps engineer in model deployment and integration? DevOps engineers automate deployment processes using continuous integration and continuous deployment pipelines. I worked with CI/CD pipelines in AWS. So, what did you do? You did continuous deployment by automating that process by pulling the code from GitHub, okay, or AWS repositories also. Whatever updates you have done it in the code, okay, like typical developer updates. So you will make sure automating the deployment process using continuous integration and continuous deployment pipelines, and it ensures infrastructure is scalable, secure, and resilient. Scalability is what? Huge data is coming, millions of records data. Then it is scalable for different data sets divisions and dividing them into different data sets and pipelining the data sets and running the CI/CD pipeline in production. So he will also secure and also he will make resilient. So, so that resilience is there without having any failures or uh, delays, such kind of things also will be identified. It means the real DevOps engineer activities are here during the model deployment integration. Then next in the monitoring and mission maintenance activities, if you take machine learning, ML engineers are there, data scientists are there. What they are going to do? They ML engineers monitor model performance and address any degradation or drift. So if some other data comes, if it is not able to handle it, it need to identify by ML engineers. Then he retrains the model periodically with new data to maintain accuracy and relevance. It means whatever new data comes, you are going to update the Python scripts by including validations. It means in the model, always maintenance activities will be there. What is the maintenance activity? The code need to be updated, the script need to be updated, need to be retested, it need to be reevaluated by different role people. Like you have seen, data scientists are there, they need to evaluate it, all
Yes.
those. Then QA engineers are there, they have to evaluate it. So all that process is common in every build of the model. Like you are doing updating the software programs in GitHub, version control is there. For each new version, you are going to deploy it in CI/CD by using the testing process also. The same way here also you need to apply it. Then data scientist role is what? Analyze model outputs and feedback to identify areas for improvement here. So once it is updated under maintenance, data scientists are going to analyze the model again with different data by seeing the outputs, and feedback will be given to identify areas in improvements. So in the maintenance, there will be improvements also. Those improvements ML engineers need to take, consider, and retrain the model by updating the model. Then update and refine models based on new insights and changing business requirements. See, maintenance is not only for data setup. There can be new business rules can be applied by stakeholders and business analysts. That will come under new problems, business problems that is going to be involved, included it. Okay, that kind of facility need to be there. So data scientists are responsible to make sure the changing business requirements are matching for the model. Then next one is ethical and legal compliance. Compliance and ethics officers are there. So they ensure that ML models adhere to ethical guidelines and legal regulations. There can be some governance, IT governance can be there. There can be regulatory governance also can be there, depends on the healthcare. HIPAA is there, example. So they will ensure according to that, the compliance officers. Then address issues related to bias, fairness, transparency, and data privacy. These are the areas they need to check it. The model is applying all these kind of things. It means it is ML engineers' responsibility to make sure all those are involved in it. At the same time, the QA engineers also need to make sure the reliability is there by following the compliance programs. So that's the role of that QA engineers also. The next activity is documentation and communication. Technical writers need to document the model design once it is finalized it and document the process and usage guidelines. So how to use the model, such kind of things. Then create user manuals, technical guides for stakeholders and end users. Yes, that is mandated. Then user interface designers, what they are going to do. Design user-friendly interface for interacting with ML models. Now you have executed the Python scripts in backend, but you need to write some kind of PHP menu-driven system where the users can use very easily that model. Now let us say you have configured the data in the backend. Now business users are provided with menu-driven system. So you will say start from activity 1. Then it starts and runs all the things sequentially. Or if you want to start from activity 3, let us say, you want to design model, only that part you want to run it. Yes, you can execute it. So all those options need to be given to the user in the user interface. That is the responsibility of the UI designers to check it, ensure that user experience is intuitive and effective. It means the users will be happy to run that particular model with a menu-driven application. Basically, it is nothing but a software. You need to connect to particular user interface by giving the options, right? Then these roles collaborate throughout the ML model design process to ensure that the final solution is effective, reliable, and aligned with business objectives. If you have any specific questions or need further details about any of the roles or stages, feel free to ask. Of course, this is part and parcel of the activities. Now, if you take your Excel sheet, let me share that. You're able to see my Excel sheet here,
Sir,
right?
no, sir.
Excel.
Excel sheet not
1
updated,
minute.
sir.
Let me share it again. Now?
Now, okay, sir. Yes.
Okay. Now, what you have done here from the beginning, you verified the activities and subtasks. For that, you have created some Python scripts. Okay, Python scripts are not documented in this Excel sheet. You have to document it. Okay. First activity it is not. First activity it is not there. Now, define problem. What are the roles involved? Business analyst, stakeholders. You need to add one column, roles involved. So, what activity or tasks they are using? Let us say, I'm going to insert one column. Okay. 1 minute. Let me include here. Insert column. Now role. I'm adding it. Role involved. Now understanding business needs are there. Now let us say here I'm putting needs and stakeholders. Okay. Here BA and stakeholders will be there because it has got stakeholders also. Okay.
Okay.
Like this, define input output values. Who is going to define it? BA, right? Technically. Then gather and prepare data. Who is that? If you see that particular thing, you
Data
have
engineer.
data collection, data engineers are there, data scientists are there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Data scientist, data engineers. Okay, you type complete this one role name. Okay, I am giving in acronym wise. Okay, so data scientists and data engineers and data scientists. If there is a specific task for data scientist, you can plot there only data scientist. Like that, you need to do it. Okay, here ML engineer is there somewhere. So you need to plot all these
So,
roles here, role wise. Then you need to
okay, sir.
explain, while explaining this particular sheet, this task is done by data scientist, why it is done by data scientist, all this you need to explain. But before explaining this sheet, you need to explain about the roles and responsibilities of these. So let us say, if you take, you have run the script, right? Sorry, prompt you have run, you got the script, same script, right? Now,
Yes, sir.
these are all the things you are going to copy in the Excel sheet. So you should be able to explain in the beginning the roles of these guys are these. Okay. Now, at each level, you might have skipped some of the activities, user activities, user UI design. UI design is there, right? In the
Yes, sir.
last documentation and communication that need to be added somewhere. There you will be adding UI UX designers roles
After.
also at the end. Okay,
Hmm.
all these things are there. Okay, now once these tasks, these task-wise roles are plotted, you are very clear to do the project. You are very clear to present the solution also in your solution presentation. That's where it is required. You're getting?
Yes, sir. Yeah. After evaluation.
So yes, after identifying the exact roles. Okay, that's where this call purpose. Now let me stop the recording.